Manthan, also released under the translated title The Churning, is a 1976 Hindi language Indian film directed by Shyam Benegal, inspired by the pioneering milk cooperative movement of Varghese Kurian, and story written jointly by him and Vijay Tendulkar. Vijay Tendulkar also written the screenplay and dialogue by Kaifi Azmi. It is set amidst the backdrop of the White Revolution of India. The film traces the origins of the movement through its fictionalized narrative based around rural empowerment when a young veterinary doctor, a character based on the then National Dairy Development Board chief, the 33-year-old Varghese Kurian, who joined hands with local social worker Tribhuvan Das Patel, which led to the setting up of a local milk cooperative in Anand, Gujarat. The film traces a small set of poor farmers of Kheda district in Gujarat who had the vision and foresight to act in a way that was good for the society and not for the self alone. Under leaders like local social worker Tribhuvan Das Patel, who took up the cause of the farmers, led to the formation of Kaira District Cooperative Milk Producers Union. Soon the pattern was repeated in each district of Gujarat, which in turn led to the formation of Amul, a dairy cooperative in Anand, Gujarat in 1946, which is today jointly owned by some 2.6 million milk producers in Gujarat, India. Eventually, this led to the initiation of White Revolution of India in 1970 by creating a nationwide milk grid and the setting up of Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited in 1973, whose 5 lakh members jointly financed the film by donating rupees 2 each. Upon its release, truckloads of farmers came to see their film, thus making it a box office success. Manthan is the first crowd-funded Indian film. Dr. Rao, played by Girish Karnad, a young veterinary doctor, with his team of Deshmukh, played by Mohan Agashe, Chandavarkar, played by Anant Nag, and others, comes to a village in Kheda district, Gujarat. The very first shot of the doctor alighting from a train in rural India, as the locals arrive to receive the doctor, who has already got down from the train. The first sentence we hear is, "Maaf kijiye, gaadi time par aa gayi." Then refusing to board an overloaded horse carriage, such an idealist man. The village is inhabited by poor people whose chief occupation seems to be cattle rearing and producing milk, which they sell to a local dairy owner, Mishra, played by Amrish Puri. Mishra pays them ridiculously low amounts for their milk. Dr. Rao and his team have arrived with the purpose of setting up a cooperative society dairy which will be owned collectively and managed by the villagers themselves. As Dr. Rao and his team grapple with village politics, rigid casteism, and general distrust of the village folk, they face planned hostility from the local Harijan community's leader, Bhola, played by Nasiruddin Shah, who harbors deep anger and resentment against the higher caste panchayat head, played by Kulbhushan Kharbanda. Nasir, the way he tends to the buffaloes, the way he uses his arms to communicate, the speech modulation, the fear, the raging anger against the city dwellers, everything is so remarkable. And Karnad, with his own restrained and effortlessly malleable performance. Local village women are led by a feisty young woman, Bindu, played by Smita Patil, mother of a young child whose husband is alcoholic and not returned home for a while. As a woman, fiercely protective of her space, she comes across as an artist with 1,000 expressions. In one scene, she gives replies in high-pitched stern voice to Dr. Rao, who has come to collect a milk sample for the cooperative dairy project. In another scene, she is all simmering sensuality as she washes her feet in water stream in farm. Dr. Rao begins to visit Bindu at her home. A mutual admiration and liking develops between Rao and Bindu, which is cut short when her absent and violent husband comes in wielding a weapon and tells the doctor to mind his own business and stop coming after our women. Later, the husband poisons their buffalo, which is their only source of income. Bindu is now broken. She loses hope and hardly speaks for the rest of the film. The dominant theme in this remarkable movie about change and the resistance to it. As soon as the experts from the city arrive in the village, they are met with mistrust, skepticism, cynicism, and vested interests. Idealists are regarded by those in power as stupid and silly. Beyond this fundamental conservatism in the countryside, the local authorities also consider any change as a potential threat to their control. Even the common people are highly suspicious of the outsiders, and they are initially very resistant to even listening to Dr. Rao and his team. The sense of distrust is evident in the you versus us language they use. Gujarati folk song repeated throughout in the film, sung so beautifully by Preeti Sagar. The film is beautifully layered with multiple facets of caste, gender, privilege, ethics, and morals that came with better intention. Girish Karnar plays the educated high society man of science who comes to enlighten the villagers. His intentions are completely good and pure, but he carries the baggage that comes with being a privileged man. The film captures the struggles of a marginalized communities, the clash between castes, and the resistance against progressive policies designed by well-intentioned urban intellectuals. Dr. Rao wins the trust of Bindu and other villagers by testing their milk and paying them fair amounts for their high fat content milk. And this angers Mishra. Deshmukh is worried by the caste politics and divide between the higher castes and Harijans in the village and repeatedly warns Rao against getting involved in it. Deshmukh's status quo attitude versus Dr. Rao's belief in change. Chandavarkar gets attracted to a local Harijan girl and has a rendezvous with her in secret. The Harijans don't want to join the cooperative as they feel that the higher caste Panch and his cronies will control the society at their will. Rao and his associates succeed in somewhat convincing them and organize an election for the head of the cooperative. Bhola begins to trust and believe in Rao's ideals when Rao hires Chandavarkar for cheating the Harijan girl on pretext of marrying her and bails Bhola out of jail when Punch gets him arrested for rowdy behavior. In Bindu's absence, Bhola emerges as a new leader. More than halfway through the film, Bhola has remained a brooding silent figure. But now he finds his voice actually to replace Bindu's and rallies the villagers in favor of the cooperative. A film that sips through silently with its wonderfully slick camera work by Govind Nihalani, the interplay of light and shadow, the long shots, not unnecessary close-ups. The film resonates with the sights and sounds of village life as authentic as possible. In the election, the Harijan representative and supported candidate by Bhola defeats the Punch in a tiebreaker and the Harijans erupt in a joy. Their victory in the election becomes a triumph of collective willpower, sparking hope and joy among the marginalized. The Punch takes the loss terribly on his ego and joins Mishraji, also aided by Bindu's husband. Together, they force Bindu to put her thumb impression on legal papers that claim Dr. Rao has raped her. Dr. Rao is extremely agitated when the allegations are brought against him. Dr. Rao finishes the setting up of the board and lives with his wife. Bhola continues to carry on the work of the cooperative with support from a few villagers and notably Bindu. Both of them have been inspired and churned as new brave individuals by the work of Dr. Rao. The film won the 1977 National Film Award for Best Feature Film in Hindi and National Film Award for Best Screenplay for Vijay Tendulkar and was also India's submission for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film for 1976. A restored version is set to release in the Cannes Classic section of 2024 Cannes Film Festival. This movie is available on YouTube. You get the link in description below. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and share this video. Do subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click the bell icon.